What's up, guys? It's Chris here to give my Strikeforce Rogers or Fedor versus Rogers predictions. I know the video's a bit late. I've been really busy doing a lot of work on the website lately. Articles, fighter interviews, conference calls. As a matter of fact, I was on the website, therewillbebloodfightshow.com. Check the link in the information part. If anyone's interested in writing, or possibly doing conference calls or fighter interviews in the future, hit me up in here. Let me know. More so on the MMA side, because I could use the help. Anyways, I was able to do the Fedor Rogers press conference or conference call the other day. Get some quotes. I'll play the audio at the end of this video. Anyone that knows my channel knows I'm not really good at editing videos, adding photos and all that stuff. So I'll probably just flip the webcam over and play the audio. So it may look a little cheap, ghetto, whatever, but as long as you guys can hear what's going on, I think that's all that really matters. Anyways, Strikeforce making its network television debut this Saturday on CBS. Main event, Fedor Emelianenko against Brett Rogers. Fedor's record 30-1. 30 wins, 1 defeat, that is. The one loss, if you haven't seen it, it's not even really nothing. It was a cut. The fight was stopped as, basically Fedor was undefeated, in my opinion. He's coming off first round stoppages of Tim Sylvia and Andrei Arlovsky. Going up against Brett Rogers, undefeated, 10-0. He's also, coincidentally enough, coming off a first round TKO over Andrei Arlovsky. What can I say about Fedor? What can't I say about Fedor? I guess I should say. The guy is one of, if not the best pound-for-pound fighter out there. In my opinion, the best heavyweight out there, and one of the best mixed martial artists in the short history of the sport. He's got good stand-up, not great, good. He's got good, powerful hands. He's got awesome ground and pound. He's got good takedowns from his Sambo days, or from his Sambo, competing in Sambo. He's got great submission defense, and he's got really good submissions himself. The guy really hasn't shown. His main weakness is cuts. He does have a problem getting cut, and he has been stunned in a fight before, particularly in the Kazuyuki Fujita fight. But he's never really been in real danger of losing a fight, except for the Fujita fight. So, people call him a cyborg, say he's invincible. It almost appears to be that way, even though we all know that's not the case. The Arlovsky fight, his last fight. Early on, Arlovsky was controlling, and I know people said Arlovsky was giving him trouble, he's winning the fight. Doesn't really matter, because Fedor ended the show. He put Arlovsky's lights out, so it doesn't matter who was winning the fight. It ultimately comes down to who won the fight, and that was Fedor. As for Brett, he looked awesome against Arlovsky. I actually picked Arlovsky to win that fight. Brett came out with a flurry, caught Arlovsky, and just finished him off, and made short work of him. Really impressive victory. As for this fight, I gotta go with Fedor. Brett's only real shot in winning this fight is a punch. I've heard people equating this to Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. If Brett is able to pull this off, he does have a puncher's chance, but I think that's his only chance. I think Fedor. I think one thing that people don't mention enough about him, aside from his great overall skills, is his fight IQ. The guy always studies his opponents well, their weaknesses, their strengths, and just seems to have the perfect game plan for almost every fight he's involved in. I think that's going to be the case here as well. I don't think he's going to stand and trade too much with Brett. Why give Brett the only opportunity he really has to win the fight? I think he'll try to get Brett down early, and just try to ground and pound and set up a submission, whether it be an armbar, a choke of some sort, rear naked choke, or possibly a leg lock, something that Brett may not have too much experience dealing with. We haven't really got to see much of Brett's submission defense, so we'll see how he's able to deal with that. But I got Fedor winning this fight by submission, either late first, early second. But Brett can always pull this off. You never know, man. The guy is undefeated. But I got to go with Fedor. Next up, middleweight championship fight. Jake Shields going up against Jason Mayhem Miller. Good fight, really competitive fight. I'm actually really looking forward to this fight. Both are pretty much similar fighters, both got decent wrestling. Shields is probably a little bit better. Both have got really good jiu-jitsu, and both are, they're okay in the stand-up, but neither of their strong suits. Shields just recently moved up to this weight division, so, I think Mayhem may be a little bit bigger, but not a lot. What this fight comes down to me, I think it's going to go to a decision. I don't see either fighter getting submitted. I don't see either fighter getting knocked out, because I don't think neither are good enough on the feet to knock the other out. And on the ground, Shields is a black belt, as is Miller, and Miller went up against Jacare recently. Anyone knows who Jacare is or doesn't know, he's one of the best, if not the best, jiu-jitsu practitioner out there. He couldn't submit Miller, so I don't see Shields doing it. I think the fight will go to the distance. Shields has had cardio issues in the past. So I could see him controlling the fight early, first couple of rounds or so, and possibly tiring out. If that's the case, look for Mayhem to take over in the latter half of the fight because I haven't really seen him struggle in that area. I think it's going to be a really close fight. Like I said, I think Shields will control early. I think Mayhem maybe later. Decision either way. I'm going to just go out on a limb. You know what? I'm going to go with Shields. I was originally going to go with Mayhem because of the cardio issues. But I'm going to go with Shields. And the one reason I'm going to go with Jake Shields is because I think he'll be on top position more. And I think that he's probably more focused. Jason's got a lot of stuff going on outside the ring, with Bully Beatdown, just a lot of other things going on and Shields is primarily just a fighter. So I think maybe him just being singularly focused on that might get him the victory. Moving on. Gegard Mousasi against Sokoudjou. I see Mousasi just look awesome in that win over Babalu. Sokoudjou, he's coming off a win over Sap, but his last loss was to Babalu. Sokoudjou always comes out strong, but he kind of, after his initial outburst, kind of tires out, kind of fades a little bit. I see Mousasi weathering the early storm and taking it to the ground. I'm probably finishing off with some kind of submission, either late first or early second. I'm not going to call it a submission, you never know, but I do think Mousasi is going to win this fight, and I do think he's going to finish it out somewhere, like I said, late first, mid-second. First fight up of the night, Fabricio Verdum versus Antonio Bigfoot Silva. Both guys are 6'4". You wouldn't be able to tell because Silva is huge if you haven't seen him fight. Guy's named Bigfoot for a reason. Verdum's one of the best black belt practitioners out there. Silva's good at jiu-jitsu as well. If the fight remains standing the whole fight, definitely got to give the advantage to Silva just because he's so much bigger. But it's going to hit the ground. I know Silva's versed in jiu-jitsu, but I just think Verdum's much more talented in that area. He's got more credentials and more skills. I think he's going to just be able to catch Silva eventually and finish him off with the armbar possibly. But don't be surprised if Silva's able to pull out a victory. If it goes the distance, I could see him definitely getting it. Or he could clip Verdum on the feet. Verdum doesn't have the best chin. We saw that in Joe Santos' fight. Also, with the Fedor fight, something I forgot to mention. This will be Fedor's first time fighting in a cage, so it'll be interesting to see how that factors into it, if at all. So, anyways, I'm going to play that audio now, so be sure and check that out. I'll probably be back on Sunday to let you guys know what I thought afterwards. But until then, y'all, I'm out.
Yes, my first question is for Brett. With all the prep and media you have to do building up for this fight, does it make the preparation any more difficult for you?
Not really, man. Pretty good at dividing time. Gonna get what's needed done, and obviously getting me more exposure. So it's just something that has to be done. So I just get it done.
Right, but it isn't any bit of a distraction to you compared to other fights, you don't believe?
Only when people are following you around for about a week, that can be a little distraction. But I mean, besides that, it really doesn't.
Right. For Fedor, I'm just curious. I'd like to know his personally how the experience of fighting on national television in the United States and just overall experience of fighting in America is any different than when he debuted in either Affliction or Pride.
Что вы думаете о ваших вообще, о том, как видится, как сражаться в Америке? Есть ли какая-то разница в боях в празднике, в аффликшене? So there is a big difference in between fights in Pride and in Affliction because these are absolutely two different countries, two different nations, two lot of understanding